Throughout 2025, you will sense dramatic shifts within your being, resulting in new interactions in your outer world. Until the recent global energy shifts and your inner work, you addressed most issues with a 3D consciousness. Because this worked before, it will work now. Instead of your new life stance, this action seems unusual, but it feels right. For what was is no more including outer world problem solving. The past few days, you let go of eons of should, have loss, and guilt, resulting in new ways of interacting with others and yourself. This could best be described as an expansion, as the God Source Creator has opened up several ascending pathways from our time matrix that lead directly into the highest sovereign realities existing within the God worlds. Through the addition of the three-dimensional layers built into our universal time matrix, our system has integrated 3 unlocked corridors, which include another harmonic universe layer that expands into 16D, 17D, and 18D, which are non-dimensionalized cosmic founder God Source consciousness fields. We are fully remembering our one true self. We have returned to the singularity, fully remembering the oneness that we are, dreaming all new worlds into being from within our inner dream field. Our own consciousness and imagination atone with Source as we allow the Holy Spirit to fulfill and work miracles through us. Fully surrender to the Source within. We let go and let God Source show us the way and the real truth. And as we become atone with Source and all of life everywhere, in harmony, balance, and peace, we take over the world as one unified field, higher heart, mind, body, and soul. The cosmic reunion of the one tribe. We no longer fight, judge, resist, or run away from anyone or anything, least of all our own inner guidance and wisdom. And with it, all fights and wars outside of us also come to an end. All illusions of separation fully dissolve from within us. We simply stand powerfully in our truth and authentic self-embodiment, atone with Source and atone with all. Your 3D being was an accumulation of activities you wish to eliminate in this life, and so you have. You are now almost a clean slate. Even though pieces of your current 3D life remain, those pieces are so minimal as not to be included in your current self-assessment. So some relationships you might continue are not necessarily as loving as they once were because you ended the karmic ties that bound you to that person. You are addressing your interactions with fresh eyes and new needs. You are new, and the earth is new. Yet many of you are surprised you no longer respond as you once did. Those differences will increase throughout this year, for you are quickly shifting in ways you cannot yet envision. Many of you have heard of walk-ins, beings who contend they entered Earth via a human body previously inhabited by another being. In truth, those walk-ins were test projects created en masse by those of you who wish to transition beyond 3D. Just as is true for experiments or most creations, you wanted to ensure that the new you being you contemplated was possible. You questioned whether you could shift quickly in this lifetime and yet remain of the earth. We are very aware that we have been talking to you quite a bit about 2025, and therefore, we have not zeroed in so much on February of 2025 and what the energies of this current month are all about for all of you there on Earth. The April energies are about aligning you and your physical body more perfectly with the consciousness of your soul. As many of you know, your physical body has its own consciousness. Each cell, in fact, has its own unique consciousness, and you are not your bodies. You are your soul. As your soul, you connect with the physical body, and you are either in alignment or not as a mind, body, and soul. When you are out of alignment, You have all sorts of mental and physical issues that then create emotional ones. And so, aligning with the projection of your soul into the reality you experience is of paramount importance. When you hear people talking about alignment, they mean many different things. Sometimes they are talking about alignment with Source, alignment of the chakras, but we are talking about the way that your body syncs up with your soul's consciousness. Walk-in beings are newer versions of themselves without the burdens of past lives, just as is now true for you. If someone were to measure your thoughts, beliefs, and reactions before you initiated your transition in this lifetime, they would find you different enough to not be recognizable or a walk-in. You are no longer the 3D you others were once familiar with. Those not transitioning find you confusing and probably aggravating, while those who are transitioning are as confused about their new being as you are with yours. Even though you have been informed by many universal messages, including ours, the end product of your transition evolves almost daily, resulting in a confusing mishmash of words and actions. You feel this way one day and completely different the next. Of course, something similar was true in 3D, but through eons of Earth life and fear consistencies, you seemingly had justifications for this fear or that feeling. It's raining and cold, so I feel down. I might be fired, so I better work longer hours. I'm in love, so I'm floating in joy. Your actions are no longer consistent with your expectations, so you might be tired, even though you had a good night's sleep. Or filled with joy, even though the actions in your outer world would have previously made you sad. You no longer have emotional or interactional givens. You are truly new with new thoughts, actions, and speech patterns. Allow yourself to feel and respond as your new life happens instead of stuffing yourself into your 3D boxes of fear or socially right actions. Although it's the false ego that is meant here, the fictitious character that is attached to the illusion of the material world, false identity, and feels separate from its true authentic self, nature, others, and source. It's very much about true self-realization. This is not about us having come here to save the human or any other race either, although that's part of it. But this is about saving ourselves as we have seated ourselves and all is one consciousness. Simultaneously, it is about acknowledging and reclaiming our responsibilities over our and the collective realities as we literally hold the blueprints of New Ascension Earth within us. Reclaiming and taking back this world and all others, returning our true cosmic history records, organic realities, divine blueprints, our new Eden and heaven on earth, along with the freedom and abundance that is our birthright. The game of good versus evil plays out until every war within has come to peace, and we have integrated every victim and victimizer, every hero and villain, and dissolved them, all from inside of us. No longer will we then project them out onto the holographic screen. As when we create the hero, you also create the villain, and we have had enough of these distorted polarity and war games. We're completing the healing of our ancient wounds of betrayal, abandonment, and separation, from being persecuted for who we are, the powers, wisdom, keys, codes, light, and divine love we hold. Just like now, all also part of the collective heart healing and opening that is part of the supernova and the heart event, which is culminating in this very now. You are, of course, not always focused in this reality, and when you are asleep is one of those times when you are not focused in it. And so, there are many times in which that alignment with your body and mind can get out of whack a bit. You are at a time in your spiritual evolution and your ascension journey where everything really matters so much more. The alignment of your soul, mind, and body matters immensely at this time. And the energies of April are about ensuring that you have that alignment and you maintain it no matter what. Things that happen there on Earth can, of course, knock you out of alignment, including things that you see, hear, experience, and even physical trauma can be traumatic enough to cause a misalignment. Now, what do you have to do in order for this alignment to take place? That's a wonderful question. Now that you know the energies are upon you to bring about this alignment, relax into them. Feel for them and trust that they know what they are doing. The energies will also be encouraging you to make healthier choices for your body and for your mind. Because these factors also come into play when it comes to the alignment with your soul's consciousness. You are your soul, and for a brief period in the span of eternity, you are aligned with that particular body. Therefore, it is so important for you to recognize your non-physical nature and the truth that you are more non-physical than physical and always have been. You have no right actions now because you are discovering yourself. Just as the walk-ins had to shift their thinking and actions to fit their new being, the same is true for you. The difference is you are surrounded by millions of others moving through the same doubts and, at times, fear. What once made you comfortable is no more. Your current and future beings are changing by the minute. All has changed, and no longer are we afraid to fully stand in our real truth, power and sovereignty. Even if that means we get attacked, ostracized, rejected, and others unacknowledged shadows projected at us. They no longer get to us as we have transcended our false ego self that feels separate from our creations. Having transcended all feelings of superiority and inferiority, insecurities, doubts, fears, and lack of self-love, worth and believe in our power to co-create the realities we wish to experience. As we had forgotten who we truly are, a unique fractal of God's source consciousness. The last war has been won within, where we no longer have any doubts or insecurities telling us others know better than us, allow others to gaslight, belittle, or attack us. As we come to divine union within, we no longer allow others to treat us disrespectfully or take on others' healing or burdens. We have brought to peace any remaining inner discord, often reflected back at us through our relationships and interactions with others. The Forerunners have fully integrated their true authentic self, and with it, all that was false and artificial fully dissolves.